Whole turmeric arrives in field crates and enters a controlled receiving flow to protect traceability and hygiene from the first touch point.
Staging by arrival order supports FIFO control, so the lot sequence remains clear before any product is released to production.
Inbound weight links the physical load to the digital lot record and is the basis for yield monitoring through the full process.
The internal lot code becomes the continuity anchor that follows the material, the byproduct stream, and the finished aseptic packs.
Product remains on hold until sampling and checks confirm it is suitable for food processing. A representative sample allows quality checks without disturbing the full lot and helps prevent unnecessary product handling.
Visual inspection screens out lots with decay or excessive field contamination before they touch the wet process line. Temperature at receipt helps verify transport conditions and flags lots that may require extra scrutiny before release. A controlled lab slurry makes analytical measurements repeatable and separates testing from the main production equipment.
Measure sample pH.
Soluble solids data helps estimate concentration targets later, even when the product will be standardized mainly by blending.
Defect grading quantifies visual quality, so release decisions are based on documented thresholds rather than guesswork. Cleaning sampling tools between lots prevents cross-contact and keeps incoming quality data lot-specific.
Only after documented checks pass does the lot move from quarantine into production inventory.
FIFO movement reduces storage time variation and keeps lot progression clear as material approaches the wet process zone.
Scan into wash zone.
Opening containers at the feed point avoids unnecessary exposure time and keeps packaging materials controlled.
Count reconciliation ties every crate entering the line back to the released lot and prevents silent losses before processing begins.
A bin tipper introduces heavy root material safely and consistently into the wash line without manual dumping strain.
Final confirmation at the point of feed helps ensure the right released lot enters the process and keeps the line record exact.
Controlled tipping transfers the raw rhizomes into the process, while the pre-screen starts removing loose field debris immediately. Early debris removal protects pumps and wash equipment while keeping non-food solids out of the product route. Metered feed prevents surges that can reduce wash efficiency and damage product handling consistency. The flume cushions transfer starts gross soil removal and carries irregular rhizomes without the drop damage of hard dry handling. Bubble washing increases contact on irregular surfaces and prepares the rhizomes for the next rinse and sanitation steps. Controlled agitation increases soil removal on uneven root surfaces without crushing the raw material before extraction. Removing the dirtiest wash water at this point limits carryover and improves the efficiency of the next rinse stages. Even product spacing improves spray coverage and prevents soil pockets from hiding between clustered roots. A focused rinse removes loosened dirt before chemical sanitation, so the sanitizer acts on cleaner surfaces. Screening keeps coarse solids out of the wastewater pumps and confirms that removed contamination stays outside the food stream. This short transfer feeds the sanitizing step without long exposure or rough handling in the wet area. Controlled sanitizer dosing reduces surface microbial load while staying within validated operating limits for food contact water.
Verification matters because underdosing weakens control, and overdosing can create quality and compliance problems. Contact time is controlled so the sanitation step is repeatable, rather than dependent on guesswork or variable operator pace.
The perforated lift drains treated water away, so the final rinse can remove residual chemistry before preparation begins.
Final rinsing removes sanitizer residue and prepares the product for inspection and mechanical preparation.
Removing free water here reduces dilution and improves visibility for the upcoming inspection step.
Dewatering improves downstream optical visibility and prevents unnecessary water from entering trimming and size reduction equipment.
A slower belt speed gives operators and cameras enough time to assess cleanliness and visible defects.
Annual inspection catches defects that survive washing and protects puree quality before the roots are cut and crushed.
Optical inspection adds consistency by spotting color and surface anomalies beyond what a single operator can reliably catch.
Precise ejection reduces good product loss while removing pieces that do not meet visual standards.
Color-coded collection keeps rejected raw waste unmistakably separate from both the food stream and the byproduct stream.
Verify, reject accuracy.
Clean transfer after inspection keeps acceptable roots moving forward without mixing them back with raw rejects or wash solids.
Water leaves the food process and enters wastewater treatment, where removed solids are managed separately and never return to product.
Dissolved air flotation removes suspended solids before biological treatment, and this utility stream never returns to the food process. Consistent orientation improves trim accuracy and reduces unnecessary product loss before size reduction. Defective tissue is removed here because it lowers puree quality and does not belong in either the finished product or the fiber byproduct. A light post-trim rinse clears loose fragments so they do not cloud the next inspection or overload the cutter feed.
Breaking up oversized clusters improves feed uniformity and helps downstream cutting and grinding run more steadily.
A steady hopper level prevents surging and produces more uniform slices for the grinder and pulper downstream.
Slicing reduces piece size so the grinder can work efficiently without excessive load or uneven particle generation.
Even slice distribution stabilizes grinder loading and helps protect texture control as the process moves into puree extraction.
A controlled grinder feed prevents surges and keeps particle reduction consistent before pulping. Coarse grinding opens the root structure and prepares the material for efficient pulp extraction without overworking it. Closed transfer reduces splatter and keeps the freshly ground mash moving hygienically toward pulp separation.
A steady feed rate improves pulp yield and prevents the pulper screen from seeing sudden overloads.
Pulper separates usable pulp from coarse fibrous solids, which is the key split point between main product and fiber byproduct.
The lower outlet carries the food-grade pulp forward on the sanitary route toward finishing and de-aeration.
This visible split separates the food pulp for the main line from the fibrous solids that will become the locked fiber powder byproduct. Moving the byproduct immediately prevents buildup at the pulper and keeps the split between product streams unmistakable.
A balance tank smooths short fluctuations so the finisher receives a stable pulp flow and screen loading stays even. Stable tank level helps the finisher run consistently, protecting both throughput and pulp quality. Finishing removes remaining coarse particles so the puree becomes smoother and more uniform for later heat treatment and filling. Refining increases texture uniformity and reduces coarse carryover before the inline sieve and de-aeration steps.
Finisher residue joins the locked fiber stream, so all useful fibrous solids follow one consistent byproduct route.
An inline magnet in this logical post-grinding location helps capture stray ferrous particles before further refining.
Fine screening removes residual particles that would otherwise affect texture and downstream filling performance.
Coarse reject from fine screening is treated as waste because it does not meet the texture target and is not suitable for the fiber powder stream at this stage.
After fine screening, the puree is ready for deaeration, which protects color stability and improves thermal processing consistency.
Thin film entry exposes entrained air, so it can be removed before heating and aseptic filling.
Deaeration reduces oxidation risk, improves pump performance, and supports more stable heat transfer in the pasteurizer.
Gentle transfer after deaeration preserves the low air condition achieved in the vacuum vessel. The buffer tank decouples extraction from standardization so the line can absorb short upstream fluctuations without stopping.
Dewatering reduces moisture before drying, which lowers the energy load on the byproduct line.
Mechanical dewatering removes free liquid efficiently before thermal drying and improves the consistency of the fiber stream.
Press liquor from the byproduct line is managed as utility wastewater and does not return to the food process.
A denser fiber cake feeds the dryer more uniformly and makes the byproduct route easier to control. Uniform bed depth helps the dryer remove moisture evenly and prevents over-dried edges or wet pockets. Controlled drying lowers moisture to a stable level suitable for milling and packaging as a powder byproduct.
Clean in place is shown where it belongs after a section is cleared, using monitored chemistry and flow to verify cleaning before the next release.
Buffer tank now feeds standardization, where the puree is adjusted to target specification before thermal treatment.
A controlled batch volume in the blend tank gives operators a stable base for final specification adjustment.
Standardization starts with the target limits, so every later adjustment is anchored to a documented specification rather than operator guesswork.
Measuring soluble solids before adjustment helps the operator decide whether the batch needs concentration blending to reach target.
Single bricks adjustment is done by blending with a stronger in-house concentrate, not by unrealistic shortcuts, to reach the product target.
Rechecking after adjustment confirms the batch is within specification before it enters the thermal process.
A final sample before heat treatment confirms that the standardized blend matches both analytical and process expectations.
Confirming pH here supports the thermal program and verifies the batch is consistent with its release criteria.
Once standardization is confirmed, the puree can move to the thermal step that provides the validated safety treatment.
A controlled feed rate is essential because the pasteurizer's holding conditions only mean something when flow is stable and measured.
Confirm heat treatment set points.
Reaching the validated outlet temperature is one part of the CCP evidence, but it still must be paired with correct flow and holding time.
The diversion valve proves the system can protect product by sending only compliant flow forward toward the aseptic section.
Controlled cooling protects product quality and prepares the puree for the aseptic surge and filler without undoing the safety treatment.
Here we see the process for drawing a post-heat microsample of the turmeric puree using aseptic handling.
The aseptic surge tank buffers the filler while preserving sterility between heat treatment and packaging. The operator verifies the sterile transfer path is securely locked before the aseptic turmeric puree transfer begins.
The pack format remains locked to bag-in-box, so every downstream handling step stays consistent with that chosen container system. Aseptic filling transfers the thermally treated puree into a sterile pack without re-exposing it to the plant environment.
Sealing immediately after fill protects sterility and prevents the finished pack from losing traceability or integrity.
Coating links every finished pack back to the receiving lot, processing records, and the validated heat treatment trace.
Check weighing confirms the filler delivered the intended net content and helps catch underfill or overfill before shipment.
Vision inspection adds a non-contact check that the closure and printed identity are both correct before the pack can be accepted.
X-ray is placed where it makes sense, after the pack is closed, as a final foreign body control on the finished unit. An accepted final pack can move to secondary handling only after all closure, coating, weight, and foreign body checks align.
Controlled pallet building keeps unit loads square and traceable, reducing transport damage and simplifying warehouse handling. Stretch wrapping stabilizes the load, and the pallet label preserves lot identity through storage and shipment.